Hey everyone, it's time to eat again, and today we want to share with you a mini masterclass on the Taiwanese white bread dough that is used as the basis for the sandwich bread, hot dog buns, red bean buns, and many other baked goods. Baking has its set of rules because it is edible chemistry, but there are small changes that we can make to this recipe to help customize it. There are an incredible number of different buns that you can make from this dough, and the small changes that we make to this dough help it to suit each type of bun perfectly. The base of this dough starts with a Tang, which is a water-based roux. It is made with 90 grams of milk and 20 grams of bread flour cooked on high heat until it forms a dough. After the cooked dough forms, add the cold milk to cool down the dough before mixing in the egg. Cooling the Tang down with these two ingredients prevents the Tang from being hot enough to kill the yeast. This step helps the bread come out to be super soft and stay fluffy longer. However, this step does add time to the recipe. Therefore, if time is of the essence and the bread is likely to be consumed day of or fairly quickly, this step can be skipped and the ingredients used in the Tang step can simply be added to the stand mixer. The other wet ingredients that we mix into the Tang, the 120 grams of cold milk and the large egg, are items that cannot be altered in this recipe without fundamentally changing the taste and texture of the bread. Our dry ingredients that cannot be altered include 320 grams of bread flour, 6 grams of yeast, and 2 grams of salt. The next point of customization is the 16 grams of nonfat dry milk powder. This adds a subtle milky dimension to the buns, but the non-fat dry milk powder can be entirely omitted. Something not so subtle is the sugar level. With an allowable amount ranging from 30 grams to 60 grams, we can dial this in based on the type of filling that we are using. If we are filling the bun with something very sweet like a red bean paste, then decreasing the amount of sugar is advisable. If something more savory is on the menu, then maybe a sugar level in the middle is better. You can try to make a few loaves of bread to test out the amounts of sugar. You will definitely notice the sweetness gradient and perhaps even realize just how sweet the buns you buy from the bakery are. Finally, the amount of butter is something that can be altered, from having no butter to having 3 tablespoons of butter. The butter is what provides the richness and aroma from the bread. If the aim is to brush the buns with a garlic butter mixture, then perhaps having butter in the bread dough would be overkill and make the buns overly rich and actually less appealing. The butter may even be dropped for people who are concerned about their health. To make the dough, mix together 320 grams of bread flour, 30 to 60 grams of granulated white sugar, 0 to 16 grams of non-fat dry milk powder, 6 grams of instant yeast, and 2 grams of salt. Then add the wet ingredients from the Tang step into the stand mixer bowl. If not using the Tang method, increase the bread flour to 340 grams and use 210 grams of milk and 1 egg as your wet ingredients. The dough is kneaded on speed 4 with a dough hook for 7 minutes before the first tablespoon of butter is added. Butter is added 1 tablespoon at a time, only adding another tablespoon when the previous has been completely incorporated. Adding the butter at the end prevents the oil from stopping the formation of gluten strands. If the butter is added right from the start, it will reduce the formation of gluten and cause the bread to be less soft than desired. After the dough has been kneaded, form a smooth ball by tucking the dough into itself and sealing the seam by smoothing the seam side on your work surface. Place the dough into a greased bowl, then the first rise is completed in a warm spot until the dough has doubled in size, about 40 to 60 minutes. After the first rise, the visible and obvious customization steps take place, whether it is a hot dog bun or just a regular loaf of bread. This is the basic bread dough that we have been using for all of our buns and loaves. Hopefully this explanation was helpful for you to customize your own bread, whether you are making red bean buns or creating the perfect sandwich bread. If you found this information helpful, please give us a like, a subscribe, and ring the bell icon to see what we are making next time. And we will see you in the next one when it's time to eat again.